to order, and please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Thank you. All supervisors are present. At this time, we will open it up to citizens' comments. You have 5 minutes to speak. Announce your name and address for the record before you start. Whoever wants to go, let's line them up. And
good evening. My name is Anthony Kennedy. My address is 4223 29th Avenue here in Kenosha. Some of you know I'm an alderman for the city of Kenosha, wrestling with our own budget issues at the city. We are looking at a budget that was proposed by our mayor at 2.2%. Through some work at the committee level, our present tax levy, I think we're looking at is 1.73. The reason I think that's important is because one of the big things that's in our budget this year is a 2% raise for our city employees. And the mayor has stated that our city employees have not received a raise in 5 years. And he feels that the investment in personnel in our city is very, very important. When we talk about the quality of life in Kenosha, in the city of Kenosha, and the county of Kenosha, I think we have a very good, high quality of life. We have a series of services that are provided to our citizens that other counties, other cities have retracted from. In the city of Kenosha, we have 2 swimming pools, a municipal golf course, and granted one of the pools are closed, but we will be opening it up this coming summer. I just bring those 2 services up as a amenity that's offered in the city of Kenosha. That other cities have shut down the municipal pools, sold off their golf courses, and have retracted from that type of positive quality of life issues. The investment comes with money, obviously on the capital side, but there's an investment in people. And those people are the ones who continue to deliver a high rate of service to our taxpayers in Kenosha and in the county. As you guys deliberate on this budget, as you go through these things, I just want you to keep in mind that your people are important. They are the ones who make Kenosha a great place to live. They're the ones who sustain this high level quality of life that has been the envy of other places. I know you guys have to make some very difficult choices, and I don't envy you, and I'm sure you don't envy what I have to do at the city. But one of the things I want to just impress upon you is please treat your people in a fair and equitable manner across the board. Without good people, without good employees, taking every single day pride in their job, coming to work, and representing this city and this county to the utmost of their ability, without that, we lose something in this city. We lose something in this county. Again, I understand you have a very difficult decisions. Money is not unlimited. It doesn't fall from the air. I understand cuts in shared revenue has taken hits here at the county, and we've seen the same hits at the city. But there's things that you have to understand. You have to make a decision of what's important. And if you're going to invest in equipment or people, I think your payoff is always higher when you make that investment in people. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your service. And again, please keep that in mind as you guys go through. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Jack Rose, 4315 68th Street, Kenosha. The National Alliance on Mental Illness Kenosha County is here to improve the quality of life for people affected with mental illness. We do this through advocacy, education, and support. We stress recovery, fight stigma. We are the voice of mental health awareness in our community. Kenosha County stresses the importance of the human services budget. We need your support. The community needs your support. It's all about mental health awareness, mental health treatment, and mental health recovery. Mental health awareness is especially important this year with the reduction in budgets for mental health services across our country, not only in Kenosha County, the state, and at the federal level. Cost to the community is high. What happens if cuts are made? People do not receive the services. If they do not receive it, they end up in the jails, the shelters, the hospitals, and possibly even dead. Don't let this happen to our community. To do things to increase mental health awareness. We've collaborated with Carthage College. In January of 2013, we'll do another family-to-family services. We've reached out to the Hispanic community, and we'll do it again in January of 2013. In 2011, we made presentations to over 671 people in the county. We will continue to do this. We've got 85 law enforcement officers that have been through our crisis intervention team training. We have another 223 folks that have been through our crisis intervention training, our 2-day course. Our 7th course is coming up November 13th and 14th at Gateway. We've had a second production of Pieces at Ruther Auditorium. This started out initially as an outreach to the African American community and has been very, very effective. We provide free support twice a month. And there is no charge for any of these programs that I've gone over. Mental health awareness is all about education, education, education. Early identification and intervention is successful. Treatment works, but only if the people can get it. We need your support on this vital treatment piece. People who live with mental illness may be family members, friends. Depression is the biggest cause of lost work. It can lead to suicide, but in 90% of the cases, if it's treated, people can live normal lives. So we look at the county for these treatment programs. And we have some very successful ones. And to support this, did you know that Kenosha County provides $13,000 in free psychotropic meds per month through pharmacy assistant programs, free samples obtained through the extra effort of our treatment team, the folks that are members of the mental health treatment here in Kenosha County. Do the math. This saves the county about $156,000 a year. The Care Center provides treatment at a cost of $290 per day, as compared with $1,000 per day that is charged at our state mental institutes. 75% of the folks who have been in our mental health diversion program have remained without reconviction. 15 folks who have completed our mental health treatment program are now employed in our provider networks. We have had 5 graduates from our drug and alcohol program who have still remained clean, finishing the program. If county residents are eligible for Medicaid, and over 35,000 of our folks are, it behooves us to make sure that they receive it. And this takes income maintenance folks, it takes people to help. Because if Medicaid doesn't pay for it, we pick up the cost. The county picks up the cost. So we all need to work together to change attitudes and save lives. Support the human services budget, because with mental health awareness and mental health treatment comes mental health recovery. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir. Next.
My name is Walter Kozel. I live at 4120 87th Street. First of all, I realize this is a hectic time and there are quite a few new supervisors, but I feel there's an outstanding issue that needs to be addressed before the 2013 budget is approved. Starting January 1st, 2012, the employees who work in the corrections divisions of the Sheriff Department started to contribute 4.9% of their wages toward their pension. We received no wage increases. Due to the financial position of the county, this was expected and accepted by the employees. A new work schedule was also implemented at this time. The schedule immediately removed 2 to 3 vacation days for most employees, as well as the elimination of 1 personal day. The schedule only calls for 2 Saturday, Sunday weekends off per quarter, 8 per year. It also provides 8 short work weeks, which fall during those weeks where you have the weekends off. Employees may work a day during one of these weekends to receive the 40 hours pay, but those with families suffer. Our schedule is missing something though. We have no paid holidays in our schedule. Are there any other county employees with no paid holidays or compensation for? With the vacation and personal day reduction, the 8 short work weeks, and the loss of holidays, some employees have lost up to 10% of their income from the previous year. Now we are facing higher copays, reduction or elimination of benefits, and premium cost sharing. Again, no raise for the employees. Earlier this year, I provided the Judiciary and Law Committee this information and had the pleasure of speaking at a board meeting. The attending supervisors were quite surprised as they did not know we received no holidays. Supervisors made such comments as, and I quote, "I never understood they would not get paid." That was Supervisor Singer and Frederick. "The budget was balanced on their backs," Supervisor Frederick. "And I don't remember specifying holidays," then Supervisor Zerbin. Then Chairman William Michael suggested the new committee members should address this at budget time of 2013. I'm now asking this board not to be sold on the smoke and mirrors explanation that was given to the previous board. The deputy's 5253 schedule provides a full 40 hours pay when there are pay periods with less than 40 hours. I have no problem with the inclusion of step increases for employees. My concern is rectifying the current holiday exclusion for the correctional employees. A simple, cost-efficient solution would be to make the correctional employees whole for the pay they lose during the 8 short work weeks on their current schedule. This would cost approximately 1/2 of the new command vehicle, which the sheriff wants for the department. In an earlier email which I sent to all the supervisors, I compared the corrections division as sacrificial lambs. Hopefully you'll now realize what I meant and will resolve this holiday pay issue before the 2013 budget is passed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening. My name is Mary Burpee, and I'm here tonight speaking on behalf of the AFSCME union workers in Kenosha County. Kenosha County, according to County Executive Jim Kreuzer, is one of the top 10 fastest growing counties in the United States. In addition, according to the Kenosha County website, it boasts of the more than 1,000 hardworking and dedicated county employees willing to serve the public. The county is right now proposing a 0% increase in the levy for 2013. This follows 2012, a year in which they saw a levy increase of only 1.88%, which was the lowest tax increase in the last 25 years. Sounds great. Sounds like a fair future for county residents, right? The public continues to receive the best services from the hardworking and dedicated employees at no extra cost to them. Sounds great, but is it fair? County revenue has fallen, mostly due to decreases in intergovernmental revenue. The public really doesn't understand what all that means. They just know what they want, and they want it cheap. In fact, I would venture to guess that most citizens don't even know about or understand rather, the full range of services that the county provides to make Kenosha County a good place to live and to work. But the county board does know, and they do understand the value and commitment that hardworking and dedicated employees provide day in and day out. And here's the problem with the fairness issue that I addressed earlier. Most county employees are recognized for their hard work and dedication through decent wages and benefits. But the county seems to be singling out a distinct group of employees and saying, we really question your value and the work you do, and we are going to demonstrate that to you by cutting some of your benefits. So while we appreciate your loyalty and service to our county, we're going to repay you by taking more away than any other group. More than Act 10 did to harm you, because we can. That doesn't seem fair to us, and it shouldn't seem fair to the employer either. After all, these workers, most of them live and work and raise their families, purchase goods, and pay taxes in Kenosha County too. And specifically for your corrections officers who have extremely challenging and dangerous jobs, the negativity these proposed cuts have on them and morale is exceedingly troublesome. They certainly don't see the fairness. Council 40 has requested to enter into negotiations with the county as a result of Judge Cola's recent ruling on reversing portions of Act 10. We understand the employer's concern about the uncertainties, but at the very least, we should be talking together. That's what responsible employers are doing all over the state. That is, after all, only fair. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Scott Dahl. I live at 8407 26th Avenue. We were told by the Kenosha County Board, Kenosha County Board Supervisor that the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Now, I would have liked a bigger wheel, but there's a squeaky wheel. We read in the Kenosha News that jail staff fumed at the schedule change that took away our paid holidays, but we remained quiet thus far during the budget process. Quiet? I don't understand quiet. How much more noise do we have to make? More importantly, why is it that we have to make any noise in order to be treated with the same respect as all other county employees? We shouldn't be forced to beg and plead to be treated equal. Does the words equal opportunity employer mean anything to you? All of us at the jail knew that when we took our jobs, we were required to work weekends, holidays, and mandatory overtime. But we were told we would be compensated for working holidays by being able to schedule one day off with pay per month from January through October. Our new 5-2-4-2 schedule eliminates this compensation. This Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, when you're home enjoying the holidays with your friends and loved ones, and most likely getting paid for a day you didn't work, so you wouldn't be short on your next paycheck, think about those of us who aren't as fortunate. During one of the last Finance and Administration Committee meetings dealing with the proposed budget, Supervisor Rose asked Mr. Gertson if the jail staff's new 5-2-4-2 schedule saved the county money. Mr. Gertson replied, yes, it did. Really? Of course it saved money. The 2012 5-2-4-2 schedule cost every member of the jail at least 3 vacation days, a casual day, and 10 paid holidays, non-negotiable. Take it or leave it. Was any other group of the county employees required to sacrifice so much? Is it fair to put the burden of the budget solely on our shoulders? Does the 5-2-4-2 schedule save money? Well, let me ask you this question. If we don't pay our mortgage or our rent payments this month, is it right to tell our spouses that we saved money? Of course it isn't. We didn't save money. We just didn't pay for something we were financially responsible for, and in the long run, we end up paying more. We're not asking for more than what all other county employees receive. We're just asking for the same. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Mark Kober, live at 5723 2nd Street. I'm a corrections officer at the Kenosha County Detention Center, and I've only been there about 5 years. I, as well as a lot of people in this room, lost those same benefits. And I'm going to tell you something, I'm older now, and I'm happy about that. And it's not every morning I wake up and make that statement. But the reason I am happy about that is because I've had a chance to establish myself. With all these cuts that we realized, if you'd have done that to me when I first got married, started raising a family and trying to pay for a house, I would have had to either make a choice to sell one of the kids or sell the house. We're going to have to make that work. But we feel that we're being really treated unfairly in regard to those holidays. You know what? Scott said it best. We'll be there this Thanksgiving. We'll be there on Christmas. We'll be there on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day. And we've got a good job. We do a good job, and we're proud of what we do. And we're not complaining about that job. But we're asking for some consideration in regard to being fair to us like every other county employee. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Randy Julius. I live at 6915 67th Street, Kenosha, Wisconsin. I'm a correctional officer at the Kenosha County Detention Center. I wrote a little speech of how I felt. I remember the day I was welcomed aboard as an employee for the Kenosha County under the direction of the Super Sheriff's Department. I remember a great sense of pride, honor, and motivation to do my best as part of a team. The same feeling I had as a Marine. I was looking forward to the start of a great career with Kenosha County that provided their employees with decent pay and great benefits and a chance to retire. Then soon after losing our union rights, they began chipping away. With each passing day came news of changes, new schedules, overtime policies, loss of holidays and pay, reduction and loss in benefits. I cannot speak for the other county departments, but within the Corrections Department, I feel, hear, and see the morale, motivation, and sense of pride leaving my fellow officers. I remember the informational visits from the sheriff explaining the changes that would occur and how it would affect us directly. I've personally began expressing my concerns about having to sell my house or risk of losing it. The response I received was, well, I guess you'll have to sell your house then. In conclusion, we were acknowledged about how we felt, but these were the changes, and if anyone didn't want to stay, we can have a nice letter of recommendation written for us, and there's nothing we can do about it. Right then and there, I felt that my own employer really doesn't care or have any concerns in regards to what is in my or our best interest. I guess the rumors I hear may have some bearing to it that were nothing more than a thorn in one's side. As a county in whole, a decision was made to include as part of the budget the revenue that is generated from the ICE detainees. The revenue that comes with a price. It's the price that us officers endure for the incarcerated individuals of constant physical, mental, and verbal abuse. One would argue that when you accepted this job, you knew what it entailed, but I say no one comes in this profession as a correctional officer to endure physical and mental abuse, to get spit on and threatened with great bodily harm, to be placed in risk of contracting communicable diseases, wanting to work 24/7 schedule, including holidays, not get paid for them, working weekend as well as 12 or 16-hour shifts. We came in this profession because it offers a chance to make a career with the ability to receive good pay and benefits in retirement, what you as our employer would consider as our worth for the job we endure. When you give that, you have good officers with pride in themselves and motivation to excel and endure the dangers of this profession such as ours. That feeling I once had of self-pride and motivation and honor is now beginning to chip away. I cannot help but feel the county may not see eye to eye of what is in the best interest of its own employees, the heart and soul to whom you have chosen and hired to make this county run. I may not be a politician, nor can I begin to understand what pressure it takes to create a budget and run a county. But as residents and employees, we elected individuals such as you to make those best and right decisions for us. I'd like to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Denise Bell, 4223 29th Avenue, Kenosha, Wisconsin. It's a good thing I'm not a speech writer and I'm a correctional officer because I don't really have a speech. I just have some notes from the Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee from October 17th, 2011. Recently, there was an article in the Kenosha News that stated that we didn't make a big fuss about our money that we lost. We made a fuss last year, and I'm asking for our money for 2012. I know this is for 2013, but October 17th, 2011, we brought it up, and nothing was done. And because of that, we didn't get paid holidays for 2012, and that's where I think it needs to start, is 2012, this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kathy Million. I work at Brookside Care Center in Kenosha here. I'm a long-term employee there. And our contract is up next month. And I'm under the understanding, as I'm listening to the jailers here, the correctional officers, that they don't get any paid holidays. We're told we're going to be on an A-B schedule. So if you work the holiday, you're not, this is for next year, you're not going to get paid holiday pay, you'll get another day off. It is now being practiced in the local 5061, who was the RNs, and we had an RN that worked the 4th of July, and 2 weeks later she got her day off for working that holiday. I don't think that it's fair. We all have families, and as the correctional officer said first, that while you're at home enjoying the holidays, and we chose to do this work, that you may be getting paid, and we're working it. We have families too, and I think we're entitled to the holiday pay. Also, we have an understanding that after the election that happened yesterday, that there would be a possible change in the proposed health care, the health care that's going to be given, introduced to us. And I don't know what that change is going to be, but I was told that we would be put on hold until after the negotiation, or after the, I'm sorry. To go into negotiations, we were going to be put on hold until after the election. So now it's time for us all to sit down and negotiate with the union at 1392. These green cards that I have in hand are people who, at Brookside, that want to continue to have a union in our place. It was chartered in 1956, and 3 years later, in 1959, it was the union got up and started running. Oh God. I just hope that this budget that you have discussed at great length is fair to the people over at Brookside. We are the lowest paid county employees. We take care of the elderly and the people that are rehabbing. I invite all of you to come and walk in the nurses' aides' shoes and see what it's like to be a nurse's aide at Brookside. We're very well known for the care that we give. I invite anybody who would like to experience that. It's a rewarding job. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
My name is Donna Zarovi. I live at 6207 203rd Avenue in Bristol. This is not the first time I've come to you and asked, please reconsider the health insurance benefits, especially charging us $100 a month for dental. There's 2 of us in our family. The $1,200 a year is what our benefit is. There's no point in taking it. And it's also a bad health issue. If you have bad teeth, it leads to other things. $100 a month for a premium is awful. Between that and all the other cuts you've made, we are losing over 10% a month in our pay. and it's going to be taking between $4 and $5 million out of the county's spending system with all your employees, with paying the increased health insurance, the loss of our flex accounts, and the increases in the pension plans. The other thing too, with all these people at Brookside, I challenge you to take one day and go and work in their place. In Illinois, there are some neighborhoods that one group will work a holiday for another. The Jewish people will work the Christian holiday, and the Christian will work the Jewish holidays in some of these stores. Why don't you all take one day and go be a corrections officer for one of them for a holiday? Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Dave Christensen. I live at 4122 25th Street. Approximately 1 year ago, Sheriff Beth presented his budget for the Sheriff's Department for 2012 to the County Board. In that budget, the Sheriff had taken 10 paid holidays, 3 vacation days, and 1 casual from each hourly employee in the detention division, and altered the schedule to affect an additional 8 unpaid days throughout the year, for a total loss of 22 days of pay or benefit time for each hourly employee. I'll repeat that because there seems to be a misunderstanding of what was taken. Not 8 paid holidays, as the Kenosha News keeps reporting, but a total of 22 days of benefit time. To give you a realistic comparison of what 22 days of benefit time is like, 20 days, or 4 standard weeks of 40 hours, is an entire month gone. I understand that Sheriff Beth did not disclose these particulars to you when he presented his budget. He did not come out and say, by the way, the reason I'm able to cut several $1,000s from my budget is I'm taking 22 days of benefit time from each of the jailers. He did not say, because Governor Scott Walker eliminated unions and collective bargaining for the jailers, I'm going to take as much as I can from them to help present a balanced budget for other departments. He didn't say any of these things or divulge any of this information to his employees. But on January 1st, 2012, that's exactly what he did. This is the part where we, the unfairly treated and the reasonably disgruntled employees, come and present our case to you, the county board. The board that has been elected to serve and protect the citizens of this county and the financial interests of our community. We present our case to you because we believe that as a group of elected officials, you have a sense of what is real and just and fair and what isn't. We feel that to single out one group just because you can is neither fair nor just, and all that we're asking for is to be treated fair. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Neil Munger. I live at 2400 Dwight Street. I've been a Kenosha County employee since 2008. I left Racine County to come and work for Kenosha County. When I started at the detention center, I could not have been happier. I told my wife I can imagine this being a place I could see myself working for the rest of my working life. I came because the pay was better, the benefits were better, and once I got in there, I saw how well everyone worked together and how well the detention center was ran. I'm not going to go over all the other things that have been brought up, like the holidays and what we've already lost. But there are a couple of proposed changes that will greatly affect me and my family. The first is that all employees will lose post-retirement health benefits if they were hired after January of 2003. I'd like to know how they came up with this date. Is this fair to all employees that have been here less than 10 years? I could personally understand if they changed it to all future hires will lose post-retirement health benefits. At least then the future hires will know what they're getting themselves into before accepting the job. I thought I knew what I was getting myself into when I accepted the job here in Kenosha. This change will pretty much require that I stay working as a direct supervision officer until Medicare kicks in, which, if they still have it, by the time I'm 65, but I'm sorry, I cannot see anyone working in this line of work well into their 60s. The field of corrections in general already takes a toll on the human body due to the stressed shift work, not knowing if you're going to have to work a 16-hour shift that day on little sleep, etc. The second proposed change is the elimination of dental insurance. Reason being, this year my daughter needed braces. When I first received the bill, the total cost was $8,000. My portion was $4,000. Dental Associates offers you a discount if you pay your portion in full, which luckily I had a 401k rollover from a previous employer, which I cashed out to pay my portion in full, which should have covered the next 3 years of appointments, retainers, fittings, etc. Well, what happens if the county drops the dental insurance? What happens? Nobody can give me an answer. I tried Human Resources, and they stated they have some phone calls out there, but they won't know anything until the county board decides. I contacted Dental Associates, and I received mixed answers. Some employees say I'll be grandfathered in, and I won't have to pay the county's portion. Some people are saying I'm responsible for all the portion that hasn't been paid yet. No one knows. How is this right? Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
My name is Georgette Carey, 3213 Roosevelt Road. I don't know how many meetings we've been to within the last year to discuss how unfairly the jailers have been treated. It was said that everyone would have to make sacrifices. Not sure of any other departments in the county that has made more sacrifices than the jailers. We've lost 3 vacation days, sick day, 10 holidays, $800 in flex men, double time money, shift premiums when working overtime. We're paying the 5.9% for our retirement. We work we have 72-hour work weeks instead of 88 times a year. We have higher insurance copays, and we haven't had a raise in years. Now for 2013, they're proposing insurance premium hikes or no dental insurance. We take pride in the work we do. We come back faithfully every day and do our best. We're not trying to get rich. We're just trying to be treated fairly. Right now, we're not. We're just trying to survive like everybody else. In this tough economy, we want to pay for our homes, our cars, provide for our kids, just like everybody else. 2 weeks ago, Joint Services came in to the meeting and asked the county board for raises for the city workers. Who's asking for the jailers? Who's talking on our behalf? Who's speaking for us? We work just as hard, if not harder. Haven't we been unfairly treated enough? Haven't we sacrificed enough? Is there not someplace else you can get this money besides the jailers? Everything comes from the jailers. When you want to take this, you take it from the jailers. Is there not another resource that you could take this from? Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments? Any other citizens' comments? Any other citizens' comments? Citizens' comments are closed.
Presentation of the 2013 budget by Supervisor Rose.
Supervisor Rose.
Mr. Chairman, do you want me to move the budget this evening? Doesn't that come tomorrow?
That's tomorrow. You just present the budget.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members of the County Board, and I would present this budget for your consideration. On behalf of the Finance Committee, which spent a considerable amount of time and effort, if the Board recalls, we requested the County Executive to present to us a zero increase for the year 2013. The County Board, the County Executive has done that. The general purpose levy for the 2013 budget is some $58 million. $33,921, and this is a zero increase over last year. An average home valued at $152,331 will pay $6.18 less in 2013 than that homeowner did in 2012. The total county expenditures in 2013 have been decreased by $9.4 million, or almost 5%. Operating and debt service expenditures have decreased $3.4 million. And the capital outlay expenditures have decreased by $4.4 million. The largest department in terms of expenditures is Human Services, and their budget is $71.4 million in 2013, or 37% of the total county budget. This is a reduction of over $5 million as a result of the fact that the county no longer provides the W-2 program. Some of the major budget elements that impact the 2013 county levy were first, the personnel costs were reduced by $2.6 million, almost $2.7 million. The sheriff has reduced the federal inmate holds from 250 per day to 200 persons per day, thus reducing the revenue significantly. This is based upon his prediction of what the federal government will be housing here in Kenosha County, and the decrease is predicted to be some 50 individuals per day. That is a very significant reduction on a daily basis. Law enforcement consumes really the largest part of the county levy. I mentioned the substantial amount in the Human Services Department, but you have to remember that so much of that money comes from state or federal government as in pass-through money, which is administered here in Kenosha County. I say the law enforcement consumes the largest proportion of the county levy. Sheriff uses some $25.2 million, or 43% of the total levy. Our debt service has increased some $343,577. We do expect sales tax increases in 2013 of some $300,000. I think one of the most significant factors that the board needs to keep in mind in considering and debating this budget tomorrow evening is the fact that equalized value in Kenosha County has decreased just over $1 billion in 2013. That's a staggering figure, $1 billion. And that is a fact that has to be taken into account when analyzing some of the cuts that have been proposed by the administration, endorsed by the Finance Committee, and presented to you this evening. Some of these cuts, we understand, are difficult. But when your equalized value has decreased over $1 billion in 2013, a decrease over last year of 8.25%, that means that people who live in Kenosha County have seen their net worth decrease. Some people's home equity has been wiped out. Others have seen their home equity decrease substantially. And if you put it all together, it means a decrease of over $1 billion in 2013. So when there are proposals here to add to the budget, keep that figure in mind, that you're also affecting the individual in this community who's seen their home equity wiped out. And for the most of the people in this community, their home is their largest asset. So if there are any of you who wish to propose something tomorrow night, in addition to the budget, I would urge you to keep this figure in mind and suggest to us where there can be a cut someplace else in the budget, not just an add-on. Because if you add it on, ask yourself, how are these people in the community who've seen their home equity wiped out, how are they going to pay it? Or those who have seen their home equity decreased, where are they going to get it? The Finance Committee also eliminated a 2% salary increase for joint services employees. It was our position that we did not feel that we could support an increase there in light of the current county finances and also the status of wages in Kenosha County. We urge you to continue to endorse and support that elimination of that 2% salary increase for joint services. The committee also eliminated $1.7 million of joint services software, and we did that because there were no specific plans identified. We recognize that that may have to take place next year or sometime in the future. I think it's fair to say that we wanted something much more specific. We eliminated $452,000 for the sheriff's mobile command vehicle, which was not in the operating budget, but was a capital improvement to be bonded, but we eliminated that. We'd reduced the Kemper bike path and parking area improvements project by $125,000. These are just some of the highlights, I think, of the budget, and we will ask for your support tomorrow evening, keeping in mind some of these factors that I have tried to highlight tonight. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Rose. There's been a motion to adjourn by Supervisor Molinaro, seconded by Supervisor Esposito. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? This portion of our meeting is adjourned. For those who are color coding, we're moving on to the green section. Okay, we'll call this next meeting to order. Roll call, please. Supervisor Rose?
Sorry.
Thank you. At this point, we'll open it up to citizens' comments. Any citizens wishing to speak?
That's right.
It's not funny. Any citizens wishing to speak? Anybody wishing to speak? Citizens' comments are closed. Okay, announcements of the chair. There are going to be flu shots. The slip was put out on your desks tomorrow from 6 to 6:45 on the third floor here. Also, I want everybody to know that 15 minutes before our next meeting, next scheduled county board meeting, we are going to have a presentation on the modifications to our board and sound system. So they're going to start work this Friday on revamping everything. So everybody who has issues and wants to know how to sign in and work different things, please make an attempt to get to that meeting before our next meeting. That concludes my announcements. Supervisor reports. Supervisor Esposito. Supervisor Rose.
Board members, you will note that on your desk are various replacement pages for the budget books. And if you leave your budget book on your desk, the staff will take care of the replacement for you.
Thank you, Supervisor Rose. Seeing no other supervisor lights, supervisor reports are closed.
Old business, ordinance second reading to required. 14 from Public Work Facility Committee to repeal and recreate an ordinance on speed limits for County Trunk Highway L from its junction with State Trunk Highway 31 easterly to its junction with County Trunk Highway G in the town of Summers and city of Kenosha. Elverman, yes. Noble, yes. Dodge, yes. Nudo, yes. Skalitsky, yes.
Supervisor Elverman.
I'd move ordinance number 14.
Number 14, which, weren't we going to change these numbers? No. Number 14 has been moved by Supervisor Elverman, seconded by Supervisor Noble. Supervisor Elverman.
Mr. Chairman and board members, this is the intersection of Highway L and 39th Avenue, the much publicized intersection with the new four-way stop that we ceded to the city, control over to the city. The 40-mile-an-hour speed limit is a transitional speed limit down to a stop sign. That's the need for the change. I ask for your approval.
Thank you, Supervisor Elverman. Any comments? Seeing none, ordinance 14. All those in favor? Aye. Do we need a roll call on this? No? Okay. Okay.
Ordinance 15 from Public Works Facilities Committee to create an ordinance on speed limits for County Trunk Highway C from its junction with County Trunk Highway D easterly to its junction with County Trunk Highway U in the village of Bristol. Elverman, yes. Noble, yes. Dodge, yes. Nudo, yes. Skalitsky, yes.
I'd move ordinance number 15, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Supervisor Elverman, seconded by Supervisor Dodge to move ordinance number 15. Supervisor Elverman.
Mr. Chairman, this is very similar. This is another cool down as far as the speed limit. This is for the roundabout on Highway C and MB. So again, it's a safety concern and a need as far as the speed limit to hit that roundabout. So I ask for your approval.
Thank you, Supervisor Elverman. Any comments? Motion on the floor is ordinance number 15. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Ordinance 16 from Public Works Facilities Committee to create an ordinance on speed limits for County Trunk Highway MB from a point 0.9 miles south of its junction with State Trunk Highway 50, southerly to its junction with County Trunk Highway Q in the village of Bristol. Elverman, yes. Noble, yes. Dodge, yes. Nudo, yes. Skalitsky, yes.
Supervisor Alverman.
I move ordinance 16, Mr. Chairman.
Ordinance 16 is moved by Supervisor Alverman, seconded by Supervisor Nudo. Supervisor Alverman.
Board members and Mr. Chairman, this is the same thing. This is the roundabout at MB. This is concerning from the other direction. Again, we need a slowdown period to enter into this roundabout, and that takes care of the rest of this intersection. So I urge your approval.
Thank you, Supervisor Alverman. Any comments? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes.
Approval of the October 16, 2012 minutes by Supervisor Skalitsky.
Supervisor Skalitsky. Supervisor Skalitsky has moved the minutes as presented. Seconded by Supervisor Decker. All those in favor? Okay, those minutes pass.
We're going to adjourn Sendai.
Who made the first? Supervisor Dodge. Second by Supervisor Bruning. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Okay. We're going to take a second to get the board retooled. Tell me when you're ready. Okay. Right here? Yeah. Ready? Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Roll call, please. Okay, thank you. Citizens' comments. At this time, we'll open it up to citizens' comments. Anybody wishing to speak? Anybody wishing to speak? Anybody wishing to speak? Seeing none, citizens' comments are closed. I have no announcements. I already made them.
New business ordinance, first reading to required. 18, from Judiciary and Law Committee regarding amendment to Section 3.60 of the Municipal Code of Kenosha County. Policy resolution, first reading to required. 1 from Finance Administration Committee regarding 2013 Kenosha County budget. Resolution 55 from Judiciary and Law and Finance Administration Committee regarding Wisconsin Department of Transportation Kenosha County Pretrial Intensive Supervision Program 16. Esposito, yes. Ron Johnson, yes. Boyd Frederick, yet excused. Arrington, yes. Anita Johnson, yes. Montemero, yes. Noble, yes. Terry Rose, yes. Ron Frederick, yes. O'Day, yes. Grady, yes. Colmeyer, yes. Kubicki, yes. Molinaro, no.
Thank you, Supervisor Esposito.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move Resolution 55.
Resolution 55 has been moved by Supervisor Esposito, seconded by Supervisor Grady. Supervisor Esposito.
This is a Kenosha County Sheriff's Department has been awarded $54,696 by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation, DOT, to support expenditures of the Kenosha County Sheriff's Department DUI Intensive Supervision Program, now in its 16th year. There is a Sheriff's Department hard match of $42,500 levy, whereas the a supplemental award of $1,602 was awarded on the prior grant for the spending period ending June 30th, 2012. This seems to be a program that is done pretty much every year. I know there was some supervisor that had some reservations. I don't know so much with the program as the DUI offense issue. So it approved our committee unanimously. Recommend your approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Esposito. Supervisor Molinaro.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I spoke against this and didn't support it in committee. I don't necessarily have any intention of changing that this evening, but I found it interesting that at the budget hearings, an issue that wasn't even part of the 2013 budget, we had more outside consultants and more people just in general on this grant issue that was brought by the sheriff to talk about it than we had on anything else that was being requested in the sheriff's budget, or for that matter just about any other budget with the exception of human services, etc. And the chairman of the committee commented tonight in his statement that this is a 16-year program. 16 years we've been at this issue, trying to put lipstick on an issue that we're getting on top of this problem of drunk driving in the state of Wisconsin. And the bottom line is we are doing absolutely nothing to truly curb the issue. One state in this country where drunk driving first offense is not a criminal offense. One state in this country. And when you go home tonight, you have the comfort of knowing you're in that state. I don't know how many other states you can walk out of the courtroom after you've been sentenced, or as I like to look at it, slapped on the wrist for your first offense, revoke your driver's license, and you go into the very next office, wherever it is, whether it's in here or the State Licensing Driver's License Bureau, where I'm not sure where you do it because I haven't been in that predicament. And you apply for an occupational license, and it's granted almost without exception. So what are we doing to curb the issue? 42, the week that this issue came up, 42 arrests for drunken driving in the newspaper in one Wisconsin county. 42 arrests. It's been so long since I've cut it out now, a couple of weeks, I don't recall what it was, the percentage. Mind-blowing percentage of those who were second offense. So we can keep throwing $40,000 at a crack at it, and if we've got to be at this for 16 years, we got a problem that we simply don't want to admit and address. So we can use the same argument that we use all the time. Well, you know, this is grant money, it's not really affecting the levy, it's not coming out of our pocket, or whatever the case might be. But at some point in time, we've got to recognize collectively that we continue to take these dollars out of everybody's pockets. And until we do something that is significant, which is our state lawmakers make the effort to change the law. Now, assuming the sheriff isn't too upset with me, he committed in the discussion that we'd work to come up with a resolution to urge the state legislators to change the laws related to drunk driving. I'm optimistic he'll continue to speak to me after tomorrow night. If he's committed to it, I'm committed to it. I'm asking this county board to commit to it. It is time that somebody say to the lobbyists who spend dollar after dollar after dollar to fight this, the liquor lobby, that at some point in time, it isn't going to impact your pocketbook. It is simply going to keep people alive. It's going to stop the senseless killings that happen on a regular basis from drunk driving accidents. I live less than a quarter mile off of Sheridan Road on Highway E. It is a non-stop emergency call after call after call for accidents on Sheridan Road in that corridor. and the majority of them involve intoxicated motorists who will be disposed of through the court system, who will have an occupational license to get behind the wheel, to get arrested a second time, so the paper then says they're arrested for drunk driving and driving after revocation. There's a reason it says that, because the occupational is to go to work. It isn't so you can go to the bar and continue to drink and continue to break the law, so that we can continue to throw money after the issue that isn't going to solve it year after year after year to the tune of 16 years. So I'm hopeful that this board will get behind not just what appears to be a good program by all accounts and all that's been told to us in the committee, but you get behind what I think is a better approach, which is to address the issue head on and address it at the crux of the problem. Stop giving licenses to people who are driving drunk. Turn this state into what the other 49 have done and saw the wisdom in, which is a felony offense or criminal offense, first offense. So I'm not going to support this tonight on principle. I hope when we come back with something that we can send up to our legislators and urge them to pay attention to this issue, that you'll all support it. Thank you.
Is that all, Supervisor? You done? Okay. Thank you, Supervisor Molinaro. Supervisor Johnson, Nita Johnson. You don't have to push anything. There you go.
Chairman, I just want to point out that, first of all, I will support what Supervisor Molinaro did just speak to about state legislation, but this would be an addition. This isn't lipstick. This is a pretrial program. It actually saves the county a lot of money. Candidates are screened and chosen to be appropriate so that they're not jailed. They came to us with figures. It makes a lot of sense, and so I hope that you will support it.
Thank you, Supervisor. Okay. Yeah. All right. Does that conclude your comments? Thank you. Any other comments on the issue, please? Okay, seeing none. This is a budget modification because it's a grant, so we will take a roll call. Roll call, please. Yes, in favor of the grant. No, you're not. Okay, that resolution passes.
Resolution 56 from Public Works, Facilities, Finance Administration, and Planning Development and Extension Education Committees. A resolution to accept Wisconsin Stewardship Grant funding and purchase property to expand Katy Park. Planning Development and Extension Education Committee, Brunig, yes. Decker, yes. Dodge, yes. Underhill, yes. Skalitzky, yes. Finance Admin, Rose, yes. Ron Frederick, yes. O'Day, yes. Grady, yes. Kohlmeyer, yes. Kubicki, yes. Molinaro, yes.
Supervisor Alverman.
I'd move Resolution 56, Mr. Chairman.
Resolution 56 has been moved by Supervisor Alverman, seconded by Supervisor Brunig. Supervisor Alverman.
Mr. Chairman and fellow board members, this is something I've been reporting on throughout the summer and probably early spring. The application that we submitted to the state of Wisconsin for stewardship grant funds, matching funds that go for purchases of parkland. We applied. We brought that to the county board for acceptance for the application. We received the grant funding, and what we are asking for, and 3 committees have unanimously accepted and passed, is the acceptance of the grant funds and the ability to then purchase the parkland with funds that the county has for our park development, in our park development funds. So I ask for your approval. There's a lot of work that has gone into this purchase. It has taken a lot of planning, and it is the first time in my 18 years here on the county board, if you can look, and I know 3 committees have, and I hope individually you have, looked at the spreadsheets that go along with this. It's an amazing acquisition. So I urge everyone's approval.
Thank you, Supervisor Elverman. Any comments? Seeing no lights. This is also a budget modification, so we'll do a roll call. I think.
We're ready.
Okay.
Quick, grab it.
The resolution passes.
Resolution 57 from Public Works Facility and Finance Administration Committee, a resolution to establish fees for use of park and ride structure. Elverman, yes. Noble, yes. Dodge, yes. Nudo, yes. Galitsky, yes. Rose, yes. Ron Frederick, yes. O'Day, yes. Grady, yes. Colmeyer, yes. Kubicki, yes. Molinaro, yes.
Supervisor Elverman.
I'd move resolution 57, Mr. Chairman.
Resolution 57 has been moved by Supervisor Elverman, seconded by Supervisor Rose. Supervisor Elverman.
Mr. Chairman, this has been a long time coming. It even got quite a bit of publicity. What this is the final work being done on our parking structure. We have the fee rates that we're asking to be approved. We did balance these fee rates with structures that we saw in adjacent communities in northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin. And it's a very fair fee structure. As you can see, jurors, naturally, they have no charge, and it goes on for Metro commuters, general public, and Civic Center employees. And when you say Civic Center employees, that is just county employees, but it would include the people that work in the 911 department, so there would be some city employees included also, but other city employees would not be included in this fee structure. Thank you, and I urge your approval. It's a long time coming.
Thank you, Supervisor Elverman. Supervisor Grady.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a comment and then a question through the chair. We're all pleased, I think, to see this come to a completion. It has been years and years and years. For those who observe that the wheels of government grind slowly, this is certainly an example of that. With the gating and the other improvements we've made, it does truly function now, and we're pleased to see that. My question to the chair, to Supervisor Elverman, I should have asked this in committee when we had hearing before the finance. Has it ever been proposed by the administration some type of chart or organizational plan as to how these spaces are laid out in the parking area, which are first come, which are first served, which are reserved? Have we seen anything like that through your committee?
If you reserve one, you're going to have a reserved spot. So there is sections that are going to be for that. Yeah, I've seen it, yes. Okay. I'd say maybe just request it from Mr. Arbit. He's got it. Yep.
Board as well, so they can be apprised of the current structure. That's my question, my comment. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Grady. Seeing no other lights, All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That resolution passes.
Resolution 58 from the Public Works, Facility, and Finance Administration Committees, a resolution for authorization to enter into a lease with City of Kenosha for use of city parkland to site public safety communications tower. Elverman, yes. Noble, yes. Dodge, yes. Nudo, yes. Skalitsky, yes. Rose, yes. Ron Frederick, yes. O'Day, yes. Grady, yes. Komeyer, yes. Kubicki, yes. Molinaro, yes.
Supervisor Alverman. Resolution 58 has been moved by Supervisor Alverman, seconded by Supervisor Noble. Supervisor Alverman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is something else I reported on throughout the summer. We had all our towers analyzed that the county owns and operates, and Highway 6 or the 60th Street Tower was not in immediate danger, but could not go on for long, especially if we had a major ice storm, that type of thing. As I reported, we were looking for another site. We came to a agreement with the city on a site, and what we're going to be doing here is leasing for $1 a year for the next 35 years a site at Nash Park. The city has items that are on that tower, so it's beneficial to them. It's a mutual agreement between two governments to help the total community. The money for this tower, the majority of it is coming from ATC, which is, I think, American Transmission Company, one of the utilities that is paying us for easements. Finances are taken care of. A resolution to the problem is taken care of, and we had some communication between the city and county that worked out quite well. So I would urge everyone's approval.
Thank you, Supervisor Alverman. Seeing no lights, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That resolution passes.
Claim Ellen Marie Copley, Felling Courthouse.
Refer to the Corporation Council. It's been moved by Supervisor Decker, seconded by Supervisor Allman to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye.